All right, Cage Side Press, big pay-per-view this weekend, UFC 290, and a big part of that pay-per-view is with me today, Kamuela Kirk. Kamuela, we haven't seen you fight since March of 2022. How hungry are you, bro?
Oh, dude, I'm starving, man. I'm ready to go. Yeah, it's been a way longer layoff than I would have hoped for. I like to fight. The goal is to fight around 3 times a year for me, anyways. That's what I would prefer to do. But after my last fight and some different things that I was dealing with, decided to move up to lightweight and wanted to make sure that I did that wisely. I didn't want to rush into the lightweight division. I wanted to make sure I put on the proper size and filled out a little bit and did what I had to do and improve on some certain things before making that debut at lightweight. And was supposed to fight earlier against Esteban in March. A couple of months ago. Unfortunately, that fell through. I had a back injury, but
Yeah.
I'm happy that we're able to run it back now. So it all worked out.
I mean, dude, you pretty much like broke your back for lack of better terms. So you feeling okay there now?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's good. Yeah, man. It was my L5. I jacked up my L5. But everything is good now. It's just one of those things, man, where I wouldn't have been able to go out and perform. And I was trying, I went to like 3 different doctors. I was trying to see if there was anything that I could do, and I tried to hold on and see if I would feel better. And then finally, man, we were about 2 weeks out. And we're like, there's just no way at this point. But
Yeah.
like I said, it ended up working out because now we get to run it back and fight on International Fight Week. So, I keep telling people there are 2 cards that every fighter in the UFC wants to fight on. That's the end of the year card, and that's
Yep.
the International Fight Week card. So, I'm really, really blessed beyond measure, man, to be able to be on this card.
I mean, dude, it's more than International Fight Week, too. It's a huge pay-per-view, and it's your first UFC fight outside of the Apex Center. So are you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
excited to get some fans, man?
I'm so excited. That's one of my favorite parts about fighting is the crowd atmosphere, man. Is being able to go put on a show and get on the mic afterwards and do. I love the whole experience.
Yeah.
And because of COVID and then fighting in the Apex the last couple of times, it's been a long time since I fought in front of a crowd. So it's one of the things I'm looking forward to most, man. Is actually when people talk about making the walk to the octagon, they're talking about, man, when you're in an arena and you walk out and you see fans and you see the crowd, you
Yeah.
see the stadium, and you walk into the cage. So, although I fought twice, man, I really feel like this is going to give me that full experience.
This is like the debut of like, the real deal arena fights, man. And it's
Exactly, exactly, dude. I'm so excited, man. It's a dream come true.
are you doing like fight week stuff there? Like for International Fight Week, you meeting fans at all and stuff?
No, so what I'm going to be doing is we have like a photo shoot and some video stuff that we're going to be doing on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, it's just going to be focusing on the weight cut. Make sure everything's on point. Getting a little bit of training in, of course, and then fighting on Saturday.
And then you mentioned the lightweight debut. It's like what kind of weight cut you looking at? How much did you bulk up to, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so I put on a good amount of size, but you know what I did was not only did I put on size, but I allowed myself to actually eat and feel satisfied and be full. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I put on some weight, just not even just from lifting and bulking, but just from being able to eat comfortably. When I was fighting at 45, man, I would have to watch my weight so closely. And it's crazy because my walk around weight before when I used to fight at featherweight, my walk around weight was where I was probably like 3, 4 days ago. And you know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I'm weighing in this Friday. So it's like, I feel so much better, man. I really would have to kill myself to make that weight. And, I actually just told my coach today, I was like, dude, I wish I would have moved up to lightweight years ago. This
Right.
is so much more enjoyable, man. I prefer life this way, you know?
And your opponent, Esteban Ribovics, I'm not, I never met him in person, so I'm not 100% sure on saying this, but I don't think he's like a big lightweight. I don't think he's like an Islam, right? I think he's tinkering between featherweight and lightweight. So, what are your thoughts on him as an opponent, and how do you feel about that as like a debut for lightweight?
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Like stylistically, I'm happy with the matchup. I'm excited about it. The last couple of guys that I've gone with have been wrestlers who've wanted to take me down.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, Ribovic is primarily a striker, so that'll be a nice change of pace. I'm just excited to feel like myself, man. Like I would rather be a little outsized at lightweight, if I even would be. But I'm just saying, I would rather be a little bit outsized at lightweight, but feel like myself than be a big featherweight, but feel like just a fraction of myself. I feel like a shell of myself. Um, and so, dude, whether it's Esteban or somebody else, man, for me, I just want to be able to. For me, my opponent isn't so much the factor. It's making sure that I go out there and I feel like myself, man. I feel good. So that's the most important thing. Whether Esteban is the same size, bigger or smaller, to me is irrelevant. The job stays the same, and I just want to make sure that I feel good when I'm out there.
You follow Dana White on Instagram?
I do.
You know how he posts those like with like the fight board in the background and be like, if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
Give me one of them for your fight, bro.
If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, hype it up.
For my matchup.
Yep.
Well, dude, that's a good question. I wish I would have thought of something clever, but dude, honestly, I feel like people really haven't, and I'm sure guys say this kind of stuff all the time, but I feel like people really haven't been able to see me and have only really seen a fraction of what I'm able to do. A lot of my wins and a lot of my finishes come in the first round. And so not only have people not been able to see me, very often in the later rounds, but they haven't really been able to see me truly showcase my skills and the things that I'm working on. So I guess, like, dude, if you don't know, now you know. I think they're going to see a much well-rounded version from somebody who's going to feel strong for 3 rounds, from somebody who's going to be looking to finish the fight for 3 rounds, and for somebody who's not going to be looking for the decision. So in every single fight, man, I want to go out there. I want to get the win, the finish, and the bonus in that order. It's always my goal: get the win first, and then, you know what I'm saying, and then second on that list is try to get the finish, of course, and then try to get that bonus. But knockout or submission, man, is what I'm looking for. No decision. And yeah, so if you don't know, you're going to be seeing a hungry Joanne going in there, making his lightweight debut in the UFC, looking to take somebody's head off.
Love it, man. You're getting me excited. And the UFC, man, they kind of threw you to the wolves, so to speak, right? They give you Americani, who's a vet, then they give you Damon Jackson, who's a vet. So now you get Ribovics, and it's not that both of you are veterans now, but I just feel like this is more of a match that's like tailored towards you and an exciting fight. Does that make sense? And that being said, like coming off of your first UFC loss, what did that do to your motivation going into this fight with Esteban?
Yeah, man, that loss, man, that stung. That was a hard one, and the hardest, man, the hardest part about that, I haven't even come out and publicly explained everything, but the hardest part about that fight, man, was, and this was a huge reason why we decided to move up to, when I say we, I'm talking about my family,
Sure.
my coaches, my managers, myself, to lightweight, because, dude, just like different health things that I had going on, and I didn't even feel like I got to fight. I to this day, I feel like I'm the better fighter than Damon Jackson, regardless of how that particular fight went. And it's just it eats me up, because I really feel like I didn't get to go out there and fight, man. And when it was all said and done, it was one of those things where I was like, man, I can't believe that happened. That should have never happened. And I got to make sure that this never happens again. So we're moving up to lightweight. And again, that was huge for me. That was a big turning point in my career for the better. And so, yeah, so that it stung, but it motivated me. And honestly, I think it was necessary, because had I not taken that fight with Damon, had I not lost like that and gone through what I went through and everything leading up to the fight, then I may be fighting at featherweight. You know what I'm saying? Like this weekend, I could have been fighting at featherweight again. So it was necessary. I hate that it happened to a point, but I'm kind of grateful that it did. And now I'm just excited, man. I'm ready to go.
And you're talking about the decision making, and when you're referring to that, your team, that's Siege MMA, correct?
Yeah, Siege MMA. My head coach is Santino DeFranco, and then I always have my dad in my corner with me. My managers, Brian Butler and Brian Heber from Sucker Punch, along with some other people who are part of that team as well. I also working with Eddie Cha as well for this fight, and I've been doing a lot of cross training over at Fight Ready, so between Siege and Fight Ready. So, dude, I feel good, man. Like, the guys that I'm training with are phenomenal. My coaches are phenomenal. The gyms, my teammates, everybody, man. Like, I'm where I should be. So now all that's left to do is go out and fight. And I believe we are the first fight of the night. So I'm excited, dude. I honestly, like, of course, you don't. Nobody wants to be on the prelims. You want to be on the main card.
Sure.
But I am excited that we get to be fight number one, man, to really light this card on fire.
Set the pace, yeah.
set the pace, dude. Exactly. So in a way, that's how I'm looking at it. Is like, we're the first fight, man. We're gonna set the tone for the rest of the night, and and I'm never looking for fight of the night. I'm always looking for performance of the night. So I want to go out there, man. I want to put on a performance that impresses the crowd, impresses the people that are there, and just sets the tone for the rest of the card.
And who's with you in the corner this time?
It'll be Santino DeFranco. It'll be Eddie Chan. It'll be my dad.
Awesome, man. Oh, your dad, huh? How's that?
Oh, Pops is always there, man. He's so I made my MMA debut when I was 17, and Pops is always there. So yeah, it's a cool thing. We were talking about it actually, and we're like, man, how many other sports, professional sports, do you get to like hang out with your family? While the sport is taking place. Like my dad could, if I were in the major leagues, my dad couldn't be chilling with us in the dugout. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or if I was in the NBA, he couldn't be sitting next to me on the bench. You know what I'm saying? But it's like in MMA, we drive up to Vegas tomorrow, so we're leaving together. We're gonna road trip up there together. We're sharing the hotel room, and he'll be in my corner, so he will be with me every step of the way for this fight during fight week. And so it's a really cool thing, man, that we get to do together.
So what kind of coach is your dad? I don't know if you've ever seen Devin Clark fight, but his dad comes to mind. He's just screaming like, "Let's go, Devin, let's go!" So. How's your dad in the corner?
My dad's probably the opposite of that. He's a lot more laid back, and he lets my other coaches do the talking a lot of times too. Like my dad will be there. If he sees something, he'll say it. He'll keep me posted on the time, and he'll let Santino, he'll let Eddie, you know what I'm saying, do a lot of the coaching. But of course, if he sees something, he can let them know, or he can call it out right then and there. But he's a laid back guy, just in nature, man. My dad is a laid back dude.
That's good, man. That's good because stressful father in the corner couldn't do it for me.
Oh yeah, totally. And fighting is chaotic enough, dude. Between whether it's in front of a crowd or not, you're trying to catch your breath in between rounds. During the rounds, you got a dude, who's trying to take your head off. The last thing that you want is 3 people screaming at you where you can't even keep track of who's saying what. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, it just becomes too much. And then what ends up happening in situations like that is you end up just tuning them all out, and then you just go out there, you just fight and do your thing, which sometimes is better. But honestly, if you could have one clear voice in the corner where the other 2 guys are calling things out, but they're never arguing or trying to yell over each other.
They're talking through your coach.
Exactly. If they're, hey, you know what? Hey, we're seeing this or we're seeing that, and then the main guy will call that out. So, and there are also times too, man, in the corner where somebody may say something and the head coach may disagree with that. Hey, tell him to do this. He's like, no, we're going to do this instead. Yeah. But if you have guys calling out different things all at the same time, dude, it can confuse a fighter. It could just cause more chaos.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And you see that a lot of times on cards when the camera goes to the corner.
Exactly.
And dude, a win here puts you at 2-1 in the promotion. Are you looking to make up for some lost time, so to speak? You want to get that 3 fights in this year?
So at this point, I'd probably be looking to get one more fight.
Sure.
Just because here we are, we're already halfway through the year. And so I wouldn't want to, I don't want to rush things. I believe I've taken too much time off in between, not by choice, right. But personally, I think that a little bit of time off in between fights is good. From what I've seen, when guys have a lot of quick turnarounds, man, it doesn't always work well for them. They almost become too comfortable. They almost get to a point where they're going through the motions. And I think that you need that. You need a little bit of that discomfort. You need those nerves. You need those butterflies. They keep you sharp. They keep you, on point. And so when you have too quick of turnarounds, again, you start to, I was just here last month or the month before. It's not that big of a deal anymore. And you want fights to feel like they're big deals because then you treat them with more respect, and you don't do stupid things because you're just too comfortable in there. So for me, I'd probably take a few months off, get back into fight camp, and then look to fight again by the end of the year.
Awesome, man. And, new in the lightweight division, you got a handful of names you want to fight soon, or anybody goes, you'll take it?
Yeah, so normally I do like to call people out. I actually get frustrated when people say, who do you want to fight next? And they're like, anybody the UFC puts in front of me.
Yeah.
That answer kind of frustrates me because I'm always like, man, that's your moment. You know what I'm saying? Call somebody out, like create some sort of buzz. That's good for your brand.
Yeah. Right.
As a you know what I'm saying? As an athlete, as a fighter. But for me, I'm not looking past Esteban. So I can't say like, hey, you know what? I want to fight this guy. I want to fight that guy. I'm coming off a loss, dude. I have to get through Esteban. I feel like my back is against the wall, and I feel like that's actually when I perform best. So, Yeah, let me worry about him, and then we could do another interview and then talk other names. After that.
Sure, man. I mean, hell, you get that dub, call it out in the octagon, do your thing, bro.
There we go, and that too.
Yes, sir. And I was gonna ask you, I'll still ask you, but obviously you're coming out of the featherweight division, and that belt is on the line, headlining your card. So I'm sure you got your eyes on that just as a fan. Who do you think takes that one, dude? Yair or Volk?
Yeah, dude. That's a great fight. And you're right. As a fan, dude. Yeah,
Fire.
I think a lot of people forget that a lot of us fighters are also huge fans too.
Dude,
You know
you're
what I'm
all
saying? Like,
fans. It's hilarious.
yeah. So not only am I, like a fighter who's on the card, but dude, I'm stoked to be on this card because it's the International Fight Week card. I'm the first fight I get to fight, start the card off with a bang, and then I get to go watch the fights, watch the rest of the card. You know what I mean? I'm excited about that too. Stacked card, great card. The main event, dude. I think, you're so tough, man. He's so slick, but Volk is a monster, dude. He's a boulder. He's a tank. He's as wide as he is tall. I see him. I see him just kind of pressing and breaking Yair, taking him down, just kind of bowling him a little bit, man. That you know what I'm saying? I think that for Yair, I think he's gonna want to try to fight Volk very similarly to how he fought Emmett in his last fight.
Sure.
But I think that Volk is just he's a different monster, and so I think he's gonna put the pressure on Yair. I don't know if he'll finish him, but I think he's gonna bully him. I think he's gonna get the win.
I agree, man. I think Yair has a chance to find a kick. That's Yair's game, but man, Volk's he's a different animal.
Yeah. I just think that Volk has more ways to win. Yair is gonna have to find that shot. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And my last question for you, dude, not really related to fighting. I guess it is. It's your nickname, the Jawaiian. Love it. Origins, Jamaican, Hawaiian descent. Great how it flows. Now, my question is, where do you prefer to go? I don't even know if you've been to both places, but Jamaica or Hawaii?
Yeah, so I was born in Hawaii, and
right.
and growing up, man, we would go out there all the time. I actually have never been to Jamaica though. It's somewhere that I've never been to Jamaica, so I would love to go. I would love to go visit. I have family out there that I've never met. I have family from Jamaica that live, in California and, live in other parts that I have met. But I have family in Jamaica that I've never met. I've been to Hawaii so many times, man, at this point. And it's, I love it. Ideally, I would like to go back every year. When I was younger, I would go back. I'd go back and go over summer break and go stay with my grandpa for like a month or however long and hang out with my cousins. But as you get older, you have more responsibilities. It's not as easy to just take off for a month. But, at this point, I would love to go check out Jamaica. I've never been.
I go to Jamaica. Well, we try to go to Jamaica once a year. It's like our favorite place in the world. Dude, you got it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What
undefeated. We go to, where were we? We're in Ocho Rios this past year. We went to Negril the year before, and then a few years ago we went to Montego Bay. But yeah, Jamaica's the best place, man. I love it there.
Yeah, dude. I definitely need to make it a point, especially as the Jawaiian, dude. How can I not go? I need to make it a point to go down there.
Jamaica's like MMA too, man. You'd be surprised, like random people. You'd be like, "Yo, you know who Aljamain Sterling is?" They're like, "Oh yeah, brother, Leon Edwards." They start going. It's like, yeah,
that's instant bond.
Yeah, 100%, dude, 100%. And Kamuela, man, again, thank you for the time. I know you got a lot on your mind. It's fight week, so before we get out of here, curtain jerker, big card, UFC 290, tons of eyes on you and every other fight on the card. That being said, anything you would like to say to everybody? If so, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me on. Thanks for making this work. And yeah, if you guys want to check me out, show some love, show some support, follow me on Instagram. I just dropped some merch. I got some t-shirts. You can check out the link in the bio. Yeah, come say what's up. My social media username across all platforms is The Jawaiian. It's like Hawaiian with a J, easy to remember. Yeah, come check me out, say what's up.
And I'll link all your stuff below. But ladies and gentlemen, Cage Side Press fans, do yourself a favor. Tune into the early prelims or the main card or all of it on Saturday night because Kamuela Kirk is going to start us off with a bang. Kamuela, thank you so much, man. And when I say this, I mean it. Kick ass, all right?
Hey, thank you, brother. Appreciate you.